Alright, today is the day we reveal what the brisket looks like. We started yesterday afternoon at 5 o'clock. I put it in my offset smoker, set at 225 degrees, and I smoked it until the internal temperature of the brisket was 165 degrees, at which time I decided to wrap it. We wrapped it in aluminum foil. We put a dollop of beef tallow on top and underneath it. Wrapped it up, and I took it inside after that and put it in my oven set at 250 degrees until it reached an internal temperature of 190. At that time, it was approximately 10:30. I took it out and let it sit on the counter until midnight. At midnight, I put it in my oven's warming drawer, set between 140 and 150 degrees. I left it there overnight from midnight until 2 p.m. the following afternoon, at which time I took it out and let it rest on the counter for 2 hours. It's currently 4 o'clock, and we will see how it turned out. Wish us all luck. Thank you. Alright, looks like it's going to pass the jiggle test. We'll save the au jus. We have juice. There's our key. So that's where I'm going to start slicing. Still a little crumbly. Alright, the point's got plenty of juice in it. Yeah, still too long in the warming drawer. Okay, well, this one was not as good as the last one. The last one was what I would call acceptable. This one was not. It was still crumbly, and worse than that, it was the flat muscle was very dry. The point muscle from end to end, even the part that went underneath the flat, was very moist. Very the tallow just poured out of it, but the flat was not acceptable. So I think it's just a matter of too much time in the warmer. So maybe we just have to take it out a whole lot sooner and or maybe we have to do a 12-hour brisket. I don't know, it's something we'll have to talk about. So we'll get together and see what happens. Thank you. Okay, my final notes on this second cook. Um, the video that I uploaded of the previous cook, where I only videoed the carving of it, the unwrapping and the carving, I'm going to just refer to as the first cook. In both these cooks, I did use a water pan to keep the humidity up in the smoker. I did everything exactly the same way, with a few exceptions I'll get into in a minute. But I started at 5 o'clock in the afternoon with the smoker at 225. I wrapped both briskets at around 160 to 165 internal temperature. They were wrapped in foil. They were both had a dollop of beef tallow on top and underneath. But the first one was finished to 195 in the offset smoker. The second one was finished to 190 in my oven, and I just did that for convenience and better temperature control in my oven. The previous cook, there were no holes in the foil when I unwrapped it. In this cook, um, the holes in the foil in this cook were not puncture wounds or tears. These were like burn-throughs. And I had 4 layers of foil. When I had put these in my warming drawer, there were no holes in the foil. I had wrapped the brisket in 2 layers of foil, and I had 2 layers of foil in the bottom of my warming drawer just for cleanliness. And whatever it was that did it went through all 4 layers of aluminum foil. And like I said, there was like a burn through, and it was in the same place all the way through. In the first cook, I raised the temp in the drawer above 150 for fear of it dropping below 140 and being out of food safe temperature. But in this cook, I let the temp drop as low as 136 in the warming drawer, and the brisket never dropped below 185. In the first cook, because of the raised temperature in the warming drawer, the brisket came out at 205. In the second cook, where the warming drawer never got above 150, the brisket was steady at 185 from midnight to 2 o'clock the following afternoon. It never changed, went up or down. When I carved it, the temperature dropped to 165 because it had rested on the counter for 2 hours. Those are the only differences that I can think of. I don't know why this brisket was in the flat was drier than the first one, when the temperatures that I was trying to maintain were less controlled in the first brisket than they were this second one. And the only thing I can imagine it was we lost a lot of juice through the holes in the foil. That I cannot explain how that happened. And I'm done doing experiments at home. I've done 3 briskets in about 3 months, and I'm tired of brisket. To Dave Ishii, if you want to put garlic powder or garlic salt in your seasoning, feel free. I may not eat brisket for another 6 months. But anyway, those are my final notes. Maybe I'll come up with more when we talk uh, as a group. Thank you. Bye.